The belief that any group of people, including Black individuals, is inherently superior based on genetic differences is deeply flawed. Such claims can perpetuate harmful stereotypes and fuel divisive ideologies. While it is true that certain genetic factors can influence physical traits and athletic performance, these factors do not indicate superiority. Instead, they highlight human diversity, shaped by a combination of genetics, culture, environment, and individual effort. It is essential to approach these conversations with care to avoid reinforcing dangerous social hierarchies. Looking at genetics through a scientific lens, it is important to acknowledge that while genetic differences can contribute to variations in physical performance, these differences are often overstated in the context of superiority. In sports, for example, Black athletes have achieved prominence due to a combination of genetics, training, access to opportunities, and cultural influences. The gene ACTN3, which affects muscle performance, has been linked to explosive power and speed, and some studies suggest that variations of this gene, such as the R allele, are more common in certain populations, including those of West African descent. This may help explain why individuals from these regions excel in sports like sprinting and football. However, it is crucial to understand that genes alone do not define success. Dedication, training, and access to resources play equally important roles. Similarly, in the world of bodybuilding, genetic factors like myostatin mutations can contribute to muscle growth. Myostatin is a protein that regulates muscle development, and individuals with certain mutations may experience less inhibition of muscle growth, leading to greater muscle mass. While this can be an advantage in bodybuilding, it is not exclusive to any one racial group. People from various backgrounds can carry these genetic traits, and the environment, training regimens, diet, and lifestyle are also critical factors in achieving success in bodybuilding. Moreover, physical attractiveness is a highly subjective concept, shaped by cultural standards, personal preferences, and societal trends. While some may attribute certain physical features to genetic predispositions, it is important to remember that beauty is not a universal or static standard. It varies across cultures, and what is considered attractive in one society may differ in another. When we examine history, it becomes clear that Black individuals have excelled in many areas not solely because of genetic predispositions, but because of resilience, creativity, and cultural heritage. The contributions of Black people to fields like music, literature, politics, science, and social justice have been monumental. Figures such as Nelson Mandela, Maya Angelou, and Katherine Johnson remind us that excellence is not limited to physicality, but also encompasses intellectual and artistic achievements. In conclusion, while genetic factors may contribute to certain physical attributes, they do not define the worth or capabilities of any group of people. The belief in the genetic superiority of one group over another is a dangerous and reductionist view that ignores the complexity of human development and achievement. It is essential to celebrate the diverse strengths and talents of all people, recognizing that our shared humanity is far more important than any genetic differences. The idea of genetic superiority is a complex and sensitive topic, especially when discussing the diversity and unique genetic traits within the Black community. While certain genetic factors may contribute to physical attributes, these should not be framed in terms of superiority. Rather, they reflect the remarkable diversity and adaptability of human beings. One of the fascinating elements of human biology is the myostatin gene, a protein hormone responsible for regulating muscle growth. Mutations in the myostatin gene can reduce its production, which may result in increased muscle hypertrophy, the development of larger, stronger muscles. While some studies suggest that such mutations may occur in individuals of African descent, contributing to muscular physiques that dominate strength-based sports like bodybuilding, it's essential to recognize that this is only one piece of a much larger puzzle. Strength and athletic prowess in any group are not solely determined by genetics. Environmental factors, culture, diet, and access to training resources play equally important roles. Historically, individuals of African descent have excelled in sports, but attributing this entirely to genetics overlooks the immense dedication and hard work that athletes put into honing their skills. The role of androgen receptors, particularly their sensitivity to hormones like testosterone, also plays a part in muscle growth. Some research indicates that individuals of African descent may exhibit higher androgen receptor sensitivity, potentially contributing to enhanced muscle development. However, this trait is not unique to African populations and can be found across various human groups, again emphasizing the diversity of genetic expression. Moving beyond sports, Africa's genetic diversity is unparalleled. The continent, often referred to as the cradle of humanity, boasts over 1.4 billion people, representing a vast array of ethnic groups with different physical traits, ranging from the tall and athletic Dinka people in South Sudan to the shorter beauty population in the Democratic Republic of Congo. This diversity reflects the evolutionary history of humanity, as Africa is home to some of the oldest human populations. This long-standing history of adaptation and survival has led to an extraordinary range of genetic expressions. For example, the Maasai people in Kenya are known for their long, lean physiques, which are well suited for endurance running and other physical activities. On the other hand, the Khoisan people of southern Africa are genetically distinct, with adaptations that have allowed them to survive in harsh desert environments. Their click languages and specialized immune systems highlight the complexity and adaptability of human genetics. In Nigeria, the Yoruba people are often admired for their melanin-rich skin, which provides natural protection against the sun's harmful UV rays. Meanwhile, in Sudan, the Nubians are known for their striking facial features, which reflect a long history of intermarriage between various ethnic groups over centuries. These traits, while often celebrated for their uniqueness, are part of the larger story of human evolution and adaptation. The discussion of Black superiority in genetics should never be about one group conquering another. Instead, it should focus on the awe-inspiring diversity that exists within the Black community. The genetic landscape of Africa is a testament to resilience, adaptability, and survival in a wide range of environments. The Zulu warriors of South Africa, for example, are known for their bravery and physical strength, but their cultural and historical significance is equally important in understanding their legacy. It's crucial to remember that genetics is only one factor among many that contribute to human abilities and achievements. No group is inherently superior to another, and all humans possess genetic traits that make them unique and capable in different ways. What makes humanity remarkable is our shared ability to adapt, innovate, and thrive in diverse conditions. In conclusion, while certain genetic factors, like myostatin mutations or androgen receptor sensitivity, may provide advantages in specific physical areas, these traits should not be framed as evidence of superiority. The real story of genetics is one of diversity and adaptation, particularly in Africa, where the rich genetic tapestry reflects the long and complex history of humankind. By celebrating this diversity, we can appreciate the strengths and contributions of all people without falling into the trap of divisive comparisons. The notion that DNA serves as a superhero origin story for Black individuals, creating both physical and intellectual warriors, taps into a fascinating area of genetics. However, it's important to approach this idea with nuance and care. Genetic diversity within the Black community is indeed a source of strength, but not in the simplistic sense of biological superiority. Instead, it's a complex interplay of evolution, environment, and natural selection, shaping both physical and intellectual attributes over millennia. Africa, being the cradle of humanity, is home to some of the greatest genetic diversity on the planet. This diversity isn't just visible in the striking range of physical appearances, like the tall, broad-shouldered Dinka of South Sudan or the lean San people in Namibia. It also encompasses intellectual prowess. For instance, the ancient wisdom of the Dogon people in Mali, known for their advanced astronomical knowledge, and the mathematical innovations of the Ashani in Ghana highlight how genetics, culture, and environment have combined to produce extraordinary achievements in human history. Now, let's dive into how natural selection, often called the architect of genetic resilience, plays a key role in shaping the Black community's genetic traits. Take the sickle cell trait, for example. It's not just a random mutation, it's an adaptation in response to malaria. In areas where malaria was prevalent, individuals with the sickle cell trait had a survival advantage, as the shape of their red blood cells offered some protection against the disease. This trait represents natural selection in action, demonstrating how genetics can help populations thrive in challenging environments. Rather than viewing this as a quirk, it's an example of how evolution has equipped certain populations with unique defenses, making them resilient in ways others may not be. In sports, natural selection has also played a role in shaping the genetic traits that give some black athletes a competitive edge. One key factor here is fast twitch muscle fibers, which are essential for explosive movements in activities like sprinting, basketball, and football. Research has shown that individuals of West African descent are more likely to possess a higher proportion of these fast-twitch muscle fibers, giving them an advantage in speed and power. This is where genetics meets athleticism, not as an absolute determinant, but as a contributing factor that, alongside training and hard work, leads to excellence in sports. The ACTN3 gene, often dubbed the sports gene, further illustrates this point. ACTN3 influences muscle function, particularly in generating power during fast, high-intensity movements. Some variations of this gene are more common in certain populations, including those of West African descent, and are linked to greater athletic performance in sports that require bursts of power and speed. But it's important to remember that this is only one piece of the puzzle. Talent, determination, and access to resources are equally important in developing elite athletes. Natural selection hasn't just shaped physical attributes. It's also been instrumental in fostering resilience and adaptability in other areas. For example, in harsh environments, the ability to withstand diseases, endure extreme weather, and survive scarcity has led to a wide array of genetic traits that have ensured the survival of different groups across Africa. These traits go beyond athletic prowess. They reflect an evolutionary response to the challenges of life, shaping everything from immune system function to metabolism. However, it's critical to recognize that while genetics may offer certain advantages in specific areas, it doesn't create a monolithic narrative of superiority. Not every individual within the Black community or any other community shares the same genetic makeup, and not all will exhibit these traits in the same way. The diversity within the Black community itself is vast, and what we're really seeing is the extraordinary adaptability and variation that have evolved over centuries, rather than a rigid genetic hierarchy. To bring this full circle, diversity is indeed a strength for the Black community, but not in the way that some might oversimplify as genetic superiority. Instead, it's the result of millennia of adaptation, survival, and evolution, creating a tapestry of physical, intellectual, and cultural resilience. The rich genetic history of Africa reflects the story of humanity itself, one of overcoming challenges, thriving in diverse environments, and achieving excellence in countless fields. As we continue to learn more about genetics, it's essential to approach these discussions with respect and care, avoiding harmful or reductive narratives. Instead, let's celebrate the true strength of genetic diversity and recognize that it's not about fitting into a mold, but about breaking barriers and forging new paths. And of course, if you're enjoying this content, don't forget to support our channel by subscribing and liking the video. We're building a community focused on learning and celebrating human diversity, and we need your support to keep the conversation going. Now, back to our discussion. Natural selection may have crafted some incredible genetic traits in Black individuals, but it's also important to remember that genes don't define a person's potential. While genetic factors like fast-twitch muscles or ACTN3 may give an edge in sports, they are only part of the equation. The human experience is shaped by countless influences, and ultimately, it's our shared resilience, adaptability, and ability to overcome challenges that make us truly remarkable. The connection between genetics and physical achievement is an intriguing topic, particularly when we consider the role that myostatin mutations and androgen receptors may play in muscle development. However, it's important to approach these discussions with care and context. While there are genetic factors that may contribute to athletic performance, Attributing success solely to these traits oversimplifies the complex reality of human achievement. One genetic factor that has garnered attention is the mutation of the myostatin gene. Myostatin acts as a regulator of muscle growth, essentially limiting how much muscle the body can build. When mutations occur that reduce myostatin production, the body's ability to grow muscle increases dramatically, allowing for greater muscle hypertrophy. This can be seen as a genetic advantage in fields like bodybuilding, where muscle mass and strength are key components of success. Individuals of sub-Saharan African descent have been noted in some studies to carry such mutations more frequently, giving them an edge when it comes to building large, robust muscles. But it's important to note that success in bodybuilding is not solely dependent on genetics. Training regimens, diet, discipline, and years of dedication are just as crucial, if not more so. Muscle growth is a highly complex process influenced by many factors. And while genetic predisposition may give some athletes a head start, it's the combination of hard work and persistence that creates champions. Another key element in muscle development is the role of androgen receptors, which respond to testosterone, a hormone that significantly influences muscle growth. Studies suggest that individuals of African descent tend to have higher androgen receptor sensitivity, which allows for more efficient muscle growth. This heightened sensitivity means that Black athletes may experience faster muscle development, contributing to their success in strength-based sports and bodybuilding. The world of professional bodybuilding offers us real-life examples of athletes whose physical prowess has reached legendary status. Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman, two Black bodybuilders who have each claimed 8 Mr. Olympia titles, stand as prime examples of this excellence. Lee Haney dominated the bodybuilding stage from 1984 to 1991, setting the standard for what a world-class bodybuilder should look like. His success was not just about raw muscle, but also about symmetry, proportion, and grace. Haney's career paved the way for the next generation of bodybuilders. Enter Ronnie Coleman, whose reign as Mr. Olympia from 1998 to 2005 elevated the sport to new heights. Coleman's unmatched size and strength, along with his ability to execute poses with near-flawless precision, made him an unstoppable force. His back-to-back victories during his era left an indelible mark on the sport, and he remains an icon in bodybuilding history. While both Haney and Coleman share many traits beyond their genetic background, such as discipline, work ethic, and dedication to their craft, the fact that both athletes are Black has sparked conversations about the potential influence of genetics in their success. However, it's crucial to emphasize that genetics is only part of the story. Natural selection and genetic diversity have certainly contributed to shaping physical attributes, but they do not dictate destiny. What made athletes like Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman extraordinary was not just their genetic potential, but the years of intense training, strategic diet, and commitment to their craft. The title of Mr. Olympia is not won by genetics alone. It is the culmination of hard work, perseverance, and an unrelenting desire to be the best. The larger conversation around genetics in sports is one that should be framed carefully. Yes, genetic factors like myostatin mutations and androgen receptor sensitivity may give certain individuals an advantage in strength and muscle development, but success in any domain requires far more than biology. Dedication, opportunity, access to training resources, and personal ambition all play a critical role. Athletes across all races and backgrounds have excelled in sports. And while genetic diversity contributes to our understanding of physical differences, it should never be used as the sole explanation for human achievement. In conclusion, genetics certainly provides a foundation upon which Black athletes like Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman have built their success. Myostatin mutations and heightened androgen receptor sensitivity are fascinating aspects of human biology that help explain some of the physical attributes we see in bodybuilding. But these genetic traits should be viewed as part of a broader picture that includes individual effort, societal support, and cultural factors. True excellence comes from the perfect combination of nature, nurture, and sheer determination. Black individuals, like everyone else, can take pride not only in their genetic heritage, but in the hard work and persistence that make them leaders across various domains. The question of whether any group of people, including Black individuals, is blessed by nature is a complex and nuanced one. It's important to recognize that genetics play a role in shaping certain physical and biological traits, but these traits do not equate to special treatment or inherent superiority. Every human population has unique genetic characteristics that have evolved in response to environmental factors, and these traits manifest in different ways across individuals and groups. In the case of Black individuals, some genetic variations, such as the presence of fast-twitch muscle fibers or myostatin mutations, may contribute to physical attributes that can offer advantages in certain sports or physical activities. However, these traits are just one aspect of human diversity. Success, whether in athletics or other fields, depends on a combination of genetics, culture, personal effort, access to resources, and opportunity. It's not about special treatment from nature, but about the remarkable adaptability and variation that exist in all human populations. It's also vital to avoid framing these differences as edges or advantages in a way that overlooks the systemic challenges Black individuals may face due to social, economic, and historical factors. While genetics contribute to physical diversity, they do not define a person's value, potential, or worth. What do you think? Have you observed any examples of genetic diversity making an impact in different areas? Let us know in the comment section. If you'd like to see more videos exploring these topics, be sure to subscribe to the bell icon to stay updated on our latest content. You can also check out more videos on our channel for deeper dives into the fascinating history and achievements of the Black community. Thank you for your support.